everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today with my thrift haul, which is part of the collaborations Thrifty Connects and Thrifty Thursday, which are hosted by the lovely folks in my description box. It's like a YouTube collab where we all kind of share our often junk journaling related thrift hauls. So that being said, the first book I have here, I only did one thrift trip this week, and it was just to my recycling center. So everything I have here came from the recycle center. They actually had an unbelievably massive amount of book donations in the last week. I couldn't get over it, but most of it was fiction, and I'm trying not to buy more fiction because I have so much fiction in my TBR list. So that being said, I've had this book on my TBR for a long time, and this is The Comfort of Crows, A Backyard Year by Margaret Rinkel. And it's just a really lovely book. So I'll read you maybe a little bit about what it's about. So, a luminous book that traces the passing of seasons, personal and natural. In The Comfort of Crows, Margaret Rinkel presents a literary devotional of 52 chapters that follow the creatures and plants in her backyard over the course of a year. As we move through the seasons, from a crow spied on New Year's Day, its resourcefulness and sense of community setting a theme for the year, to the lingering bluebirds of December, revisiting the nest box they used in spring, what develops is a portrait of joy and grief, joy in the ongoing pleasures of the natural world, and grief over winters that end too soon, and songbirds that grow fewer and fewer. So this is a really nice book. It also has really beautiful illustrations throughout it, which I was not expecting. I sort of read online the description of the book and knew that I wanted to read it because I love anything that is, you know how we love nature journals, right, in this community. Well, this is kind of like the literary equivalent, right, to something that is both seasonal and a garden or nature journal. So yeah, it's just a bonus. It's got some nice visuals, and I think that in itself will help me read it more quickly. I'm probably just going to voraciously eat up this book. Okay. Next, we have a delightful children's book called Bee and Me by Allison J. And I just love these illustrations. So I'm super stoked about this book. It's got really pretty end papers, and I think it would make a lovely little storybook journal. It's all kind of a visual story, right? There's no words in it. It's just wonderful images. And the bee is so cute. This illustrator is really, really great. But yeah, it's just such a sweet little book, so I had to pick it up. I couldn't not pick it up. Look at the sun. It's so sweet, right? So, yeah. And then I found this book, Art Effects by Jean Drysdale Green. So, this might contribute a little bit to some things that we do on this channel together. A visual sampler, including step-by-step demonstrations for experimenting with inks, watercolor, acrylics, oils, pastels, and unusual materials to achieve hundreds of different effects to use in your paintings. So it's full of stuff like this, right? So in this acrylics page, mono printing on colored paper, mono printing with Chinese paper cuts, exploring interference colors, creating color transformations, using interference colors on fabric, marbling with interference colors, working with a random wax pattern, creating batik designs on cloth, using gel medium for batik, so there's just under watercolor, creating brick texture with polystyrene, printing with organic objects, painting with a toothbrush, spattering with masking and collage. So, there's just kind of endless techniques in here that I think will really, feed into our creative process here. This book, it's a hunka chunka. It is, Gerzimic, I don't know. I can't pronounce this. I'm sorry. Animal Life Encyclopedia. This is volume 9, Birds number 3. So you can be slightly proud of me in that if you've followed my struggle for years now with not being able to say no to a bird book. I went to the recycle center. I do not lie. They must have had at least 15 of these books. Birds, mammals, none plants, because if there were plants, I would have brought it home. But I didn't. I relented. I did not bring them home. They're these big, giant blue books, and they're just huge. And I was like, I saw them, and I'm like, I can't bring these all home. And then I said to myself, you can get one. Just one. Because, honestly, when you go inside them, so yeah, here's the info on all of them. So they had them all, all of these books were there. And then there was even some other ones that were, I think, a newer collection that were called Animal Life, I think, because they had more than what I saw just there. So in this book, okay, this is why I wanted it these pages. So there's lots of different kinds of illustration. There is photography, but it's got beautiful bird pages. And I had to get it because, it's a bird book. But I do plan to harvest it because I don't need another giant book. And I think once I harvest it, I'm probably going to have a little stack of papers there. But, because just the index alone on this is this, right? It's huge index. So yeah, I plan to harvest this book down. I'm not sure what I'll do. The paper feels really, really nice and matte. I'm thinking it's also very thick, and I'm sort of thinking about possibly using it for a boiled book, just to get nice, really colorful boiled book pages. Be kind of cool. And then this book, America's Poster Renaissance. So it's a big, cool yellow book with this, shimmering blue writing. What is this? I know there's stuff inside here. Looks like they were marking certain pages. So this book is it's by Victor Marjolin. What year is it? 1975. It felt very much a 70s book. So it has black and white and color, and it's a glued in book, so it should be pretty easy to take apart, and it has stitching too. But there's really beautiful posters in here, lots of Art Nouveau. Probably gonna take all these little papers out of here. Okay. Yeah. The Midsummer Number. That one's really beautiful. So yeah, I had to pick that one up. Okay, then a couple non-book things. So I found this little, my husband actually found it. It's this little bridge collection game, made in England. It's a leather case. It's got the old, a little old notepad for bridge that goes in here. And then it's got the cards here. We have a red and a blue deck that look a little Art Nouveau-ish, but not super fancy, but they've been well loved and they're nice little cards. I just thought the whole thing was charming. And I also could see myself using the case for something journal related because it's just so cute and old. It'd be cute on the cover of a larger journal. And then, as you may know, if you've followed me around here for a while, I often pick up drywalling materials. This is drywall tape. So when you have a hole in your wall, you use this as one of the bits of the masking that you use when you're covering it up with plaster. So I like to use these in the same way you would use cheesecloth when you're strengthening spines, but they're also really great for mark making and texture making. So, and it's the sticker kind, so it's kind of tacky. It will sit so that when you put it down, it stays where you've put it. They're also good texture collage too. And then I got this. This is more reading material for me, but just a really nice little collection. So I had this book in the past and I gave it to someone and I hadn't read it yet, but they wanted to read it. So I just kind of gave it to them. So I found 1 and 2. So these are edited by Carol Shields and Marjorie Anderson. And it's just a whole, all of these are short stories written by women's perspectives, dropped threads and dropped threads too. And they're just really nice little short stories, quick little reads, when you're waiting for an appointment or something and you want to get through a little short story. There's lots of little short stories and I love short story compilations. Okay. Now my most wonderful treasures of the day here. There's a few, so let me show you the one I'm the most excited about. Let me tell you, I had to crawl under a table. Okay, like I said, a massive book donation has come in, all these boxes of fiction, but then I could see there was more, but it had been shoved under the table because like whoever was unloading and loading, they had so much to deal with, so they just kind of shoved a lot of it under this big table. So I saw one of these on top, but I saw like the back of it like this, and I was like, that looks like something I'm gonna want, right? So this is Where Women Create, Inspiring Workspaces of Extraordinary Women. And so these are gorgeous magazines that are all about women, artists, makers, and their studios, you know, where they spend time creating. And I find all of that so remarkably inspiring. It's just really nice to, you know, take a peek inside people's spaces and also get ideas for your own space or, you know, your own art. So that's this one. This is created by Joe Packham, and this is the Fall 2022 edition. Then I found this, What Women Create. So there's where and then there's what. Inspiration for your imagination. Also Joe Packham, this is Summer 2022. And I mean, there's really nice textile, glass blowing, beading, collage, digital art, like all sorts of artists and, you know, what they do. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I found another What Women Create, which is fall 2021. These fun chickens on the front that are stitched and felted. Beautiful. So yeah, I will read through these and then I will cut them up for sure. Gorgeous magazines. We'll probably do some like use your books episodes with these too. Another What Women Create, Summer of 2023. Yum. Another, this one is Winter 2021. Look at all that slow stitching. So beautiful. Yeah. This is, who is she? Not sure yet. Yeah, but she does beautiful stitching. Oh, Kelly May Krenz. So she's somebody to look for probably on Instagram or YouTube or wherever. What Women Create again, Spring 2023. Look at those lovely leaves. Lots of ideas for upcycling, foraging, and natural dyes. Yeah, I'm going to be really busy reading these. And then I found this one. I think actually this one was the first one that I saw, was in her studio. Yeah, so I've never seen this book before. This is from Stampington and Company. It is November, December of 2023, Volume 5, Issue 2. Yeah, to January 2023. Yeah, so really, really pretty book. Same quality, you know, like thick, not much advertising. Beautiful. Yep. And then another one of those in her studio. Look at this cover. Like, doesn't this just feel so dark academia beautiful? Like, ugh. You know, the kind of things in these: a rainbow of color in a log cabin studio, more than a hobby. A hero finds comfort in her craft room. An old horse stable becomes a rustic pottery studio. The expansive and elegant quilting space where all are welcome. Like, look at these. Oh, gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Paper and Fairy Tales. Yeah. I think I'm gonna like, she's in France, this girl. Laetitia Miral is who's written this, so you can look her up for sure. But yeah, these look like really nice magazines. And then another Where Women Create. So this one's summer 2022, and you know, again, it focuses on studio spaces, and you know, it talks a little bit to each artist about their practices. And then the last one is another In Her Studio, and this one is February, March, April of 2023. So these are just last year's, you know, magazines mostly, which is really awesome. I love people who pass these things on, because these magazines are so pricey. Like in Canada, they're $19.99. In the US, they're $15.99. And a lot of these are actually much more than that. Usually I see them like $18.99. I see them in the 20s now, though. You know, another couple years have passed. So, yeah, I definitely like picking these up, but they're kind of like the same as like buying a book, right? Like it's it can be expensive. You don't want to spend a ton on that, so it's nice to get them secondhand. And then you know, recycling center kind of stuff. I found these. So they're single file folder pieces in this really nice aubergine, you know, eggplant kind of color, and I thought they'd be really, really nice, like pages in a book. They're great. And then this I found, so it's a natural, you know, mulberry paper photo album, and it's got this metal bit on the front, and then the pages are just tied in, which is great because they're gorgeous. They're like you know, handmade paper in a really nice black and green, with like white bits, and like these ones are quite thick. And then at the end, they came with this was inside of it, the photo mounting corners. So they're little silver photo mounting corners. And then the very last thing in this haul, again, if you've been following me, there's a Sally Go Round the Sun by Edith Falk. And I think I should do a giveaway of a copy of this book, because obviously I have several of them. It's one of my favorite childhood books because of both the illustrations and the really silly songs. I love it so much. If you ever see this book, and you may only see it if you're in Canada, to be honest, it's just the best, and you should get it, because look at the cover first of all. It's amazing. And Edith Falk is so charming. I can't even begin. Like, I love this book so much. When I was a kid, I checked it out at the library until it was essentially falling apart, and they just gave it to me. They were like, you know what, you're the only one who checks the book out. You just take it. So it is copyright of 1969 from McClelland and Stewart Limited, and it was reprinted in 1981. So I have many of the original volumes. I have a signed volume that I got from my friend who used to own a bookstore, and she actually got to meet Edith Falk. And yeah, I just love this book. And yeah, you can definitely do lots of fun things with it. I'm making a creativity sampler with mine. If you are more interested in that, just search for creativity sampler on my channel and you'll see what I've done with that book. But that, I believe, let me check. Yes, that concludes this thrift haul. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's great to have you here. And until next time, may the thrifting fairies be with you. Bye for now.